Adam, preparations well underway now for Altrincham. Still happy with what you picked up at Halifax last weekend?
Yeah, definitely. I think on review of the game and speaking to the players in a meeting on Tuesday, we were pleased with the point. We were more pleased with the performance and um, the resilience and the attitude we showed towards the game. It was more like the performances that we were used to when I first took over the role. So it was good to get back to basics in a lot of ways. There was a lot of spirit, a lot of organisation in the shape. We looked hard to beat, and we created a number of very good opportunities. So it's given us a good platform building into this weekend and hopefully for the rest of the season.
And Harry Vince at the forefront of that gave you really energetic display in midfield and really belied his 17 years.
Yeah, I thought it was fantastic to go into a big game like that against one of the tougher opponents in the league with the resources and the players that they've got at their disposal. I thought Vino was fantastic. He played on the front foot. He was fantastic in possession. But his attitude and his desire to want to do well and to want to succeed, I think it showed the endeavour and the enthusiasm that a young lad brings. And for someone of that age to go into a first team environment, it was really nice to see, and it's something I want to see more of.
Do you now hope he can go on and establish himself as one of your players going forward into next season?
There's a long way to go, isn't there? I mean, in terms of his development, he's only a baby. He's been out already and played men's football, which is huge for his pathway. Now it's on his toes. He's got to look at all the little different bits that add up to someone becoming ultimately a professional footballer, and we'll give him all the help and the guidance he needs. And it's up to him then to keep his standards and keep striving to be the best he can be.
What do you expect from Altrincham at the weekend? They're barring a miracle, they're going to go down, but perhaps the pressure's off them now and they can go out and play with a bit of freedom.
I don't really want to talk about them in that way, to be honest with you, because whatever the league position, I think it's a little bit disrespectful to talk about them in that manner. What they are is they're a group of men fighting for a cause, and we've watched 3 or 4 of the recent games, and they're having a right go, and it's going to be like every game in this league. It's such a tight league, it'll be a different challenge for us, but I keep saying it and I'll say it again, we're just focusing on ourselves at the minute. We want to make sure that we get ourselves right, because we showed on Saturday when we are right, we're a match for anybody in this league. We showed it against the majority of the top teams in this league. So we're looking for consistency in our own performance. We're looking at picking results up for ourselves, and be it against top of the league or bottom of the league, we need to make sure that we're right.
Injury wise, do you expect it to be much different, or is it pretty much as it was at Halifax?
Pretty much the same. I think we had a couple on the bench on Saturday that weren't 100%. We're assessing and seeing if they can step up their rehab this week, but at the minute it looks pretty much the same. I think in terms of the longer term ones, they're probably a little bit more of a positive note. We've got Grant stepping up his training time and his intensity. Burgess is close to joining in training. Greg's took a big step in his rehab. So we're getting there slowly, but nothing that's going to impact anything in the immediate future.
And Greg, you mentioned obviously he's a big character. You brought him back into the dressing room last weekend at Halifax. Is he important from banging the drum sort of point of view, that it gets people going and might get a reaction from one or two?
I think banging the drums a very good way of putting it. He was fantastic to have around on Saturday. Now he's got his boot off, he's mobile again. He was a big voice in the changing room on Saturday. He's a motivator, he's a big character, and we probably miss that a little bit, I think, because we keep saying we are a young team, a very young average age, and to have somebody that brings that charisma and that drive, even though he's not in the squad, to have him in the four walls of a changing room was really big on Saturday, and it's good to have him back around training. It's good to have him rallying the troops on a match day. So yeah, as quick as we can get him back fit and raring to go again, the better for everyone.
And the youth team flying at the moment. Martin's doing a good job with them. They're top of the league again at the moment. They won 6-0 yesterday. Have you got your close eye on one or two? Obviously, Harry Vance has already come in. Harry Payne's been on the bench once or twice. So, presumably there are players in there that you're aware of.
Yeah, 100%. I think the youth team are having a fantastic season this season. They've got some cracking results, some really good individual performances. The likes of Liam Adams and are like a really stepping up to the mark. Again, they're out playing men's football as well, which for me it's a big part of the development. They're training with the first team week in, week out. Obviously the step from the youth team to the first team level it's a big one, and there's a lot to take on board within that, but it's doable. I think Vino's shown that, and what is available is the pathway to do that, which is huge. It's something that next season we're looking at an under-21 setup going into the club, which will be full-time, which will again allow the football club another revenue of its own players, homegrown players, and then that development aspect is it's a big part of what I believe in personally. So yeah, the youth are having a fantastic season, and if we can get some positive results and get a couple more into that starting 11 this season, it'll be nice to see.
And that under-21 setup, as you say, there isn't under-21s this year, but the trialists and youth teamers and fringe first teamers next year, you perhaps got in mind really a group that are full-time like the youth team are now and training fairly regularly and playing consistently. Yeah,
I think Lewis is doing a fantastic job with the under-21 group this season, because it's been tough in terms of, because it's not a full-time group, getting the numbers and getting a settled team has been tough for him, but he's done a fantastic job with that. We're looking at it being more of a solid foundation to the club, whereas they'll do an education package as well. So yeah, exciting times.